Hey boys, hey girls, welcome to Louisiana Cajun Recipes. As promised, I'm going to go ahead with some tips and tricks that may have been left out of some of the videos in the past. But it's stuff I've learned over the years of just cooking and things. Um, and let me go ahead and mention, y'all are wanting me to make a cooking video. I've made cooking videos of so many things before. If you follow these tips that I'm going to be bringing up here during this video, um, you'll be able to take any one of the recipes and say, oh, I see where he left this out. I see where he left that out. But the reason I don't really want to shoot a cooking video is my mom passed away about a year and a half ago. And she was my inspiration for learning to cook, learning to want to cook. And I'm just not over it. I've been eating out or just doing something really simple in the kitchen. I mean, I hadn't been making full blown meals or big barbecues. I'll go out and get barbecue. We got a bunch of good places right close by my house. Bunch of fine restaurants down here. And I like to patronize them, to help them because they're struggling right now. The economy's bad. You watch the news. They wanting to ban gas stoves and things like that, cooktops, which is what the restaurants rely on. They're able to turn out a high volume using a commercial gas cooktop. So I'm not really this isn't gonna be a cooking video. It's gonna be some tips and tricks with a link at the end to some myths, cooking myths that need to just go away. And there'll be a link in the description box underneath this video to that site. And I suggest you explore that site, Serious Eats, because they've got so many, oh man, cooking tips and tricks in there. And I study there a lot. And yeah, I've got tons of cookbooks, and I like looking through the cookbooks. And, well, I like this recipe. And I'm going to read this one and read that one and read this one from all these different cookbooks. And, well, I don't think that ought to be in this one. But it ought to be, I like that one. I'm going to add that. But I ain't going to add this. I'm going to take that out because I think y'all being non-union over that. Which is kind of a misconception. A lot of people think that Cajun foods are really spicy, really hot. No, they're seasoned well, like with onions and garlic and some aromatics. But you can't get crazy. You can't just throw everything in the pantry, in the pot, and expect it to taste like something, because some herbs and spices and other things will overpower others and take away from the primary dish. Let's say pork chops, for instance, just pork chops and gravy. If you use the KISS method, that's keep it simple, stupid, it's going to taste better than if you dolled it up with, oh man, high heels and a mini skirt and just, you can screw up a dish, a good dish, like crawfish etouffee or jambalaya, by putting too many things in there that's not traditional, because we kind of lived off the land in the old days. And that's what I grew up eating, that kind of food. So let's get on with this, and you'll kind of see. I'm going to have to look off to the side and down because I've got some notes. And I tried to minimize the screen to keep the reflection so you can see my eyes, boy. Okay, first let's talk about umami. What is that? It's like the sixth sense of flavor. It's a flavor enhancer, and it's in a lot of foods that you consume naturally, like soy sauce, fish, and oyster sauces. It's in some cheeses. There's some in onions, garlic, fish, poultry, and beef. But when you add some more, It's like a flavor explosion in your mouth. And one of the one source of it, y'all ain't gonna like this, it's MSG, is umami bomb. It's like salt on steroids. You can say, well, I'm allergic to it. That's bullshit. I think if you ate something with MSG and got sick, you probably ate too damn much because it tasted too damn good. You better think about it, regroup. Now, if you broke out in hives and all this kind of crap, well, maybe the food had a problem. Other than, Google it, because they did some research on it. There's very, very few people that are actually allergic to it. They may think they are, and the mind is a strong. If you think you're sick, you may get sick. It's the way the mind works. It's like optical illusions. It's the same thing. Well, this is a taste illusion. Think Lay's chips, not their potato chips, but the like Doritos and a nacho cheese Dorito. That's got MSG in it. Look at the label. Start reading the labels on some of the stuff you buy. Unless you're one of them all naturalists, vegetarians, then you're on the wrong damn channel. I can tell you that. Go away. We don't need you here. Bring your negatives somewhere else. Okay, I guess we've covered that good enough. Now, let's move on to pot roast. I found that my regular mom's pot roast recipe, okay, where I just brown the meat down really good, and then pull it out, add some onions, some wine. Got a little umami in there too. But add some unflavored gelatin. You can get it in sheets, and you like gelatin sheets. I think it's available in a powder too. You can add some of that to it, and it thickens the gravy, number one, and it richens it up along with the onions and the garlic and everything else you're gonna put in there. And it also puts some tomato paste in it. And if you want to hit it with a little bit more umami, put a little bit of soy or what's this here sauce? Worcestershire sauce. Thanks, Keith, for giving me that tip on the what's this here sauce. Okay, let's move on to mac and cheese. Mac and cheese. You want to use something that's got gelatin in it, like a processed American cheese. Velveeta has got a lot of gelatin with a little bit of cheese flavor and maybe some real cheese in it, maybe less than 25%, but all this other crap. So you can actually add some gelatin to it. I'll just take a couple slices of Kraft and throw in there with some good sharp cheddar and maybe what is that Jerry cheese or however you say it, the Gruyere or whatever it is, Gruyere. I ain't say it right. I don't have to, but don't use milk. Use evaporated milk. Regular milk is going to curdle, whereas evaporated milk won't. As long as you don't boil the hell out of it. Add a little mustard powder, a little bit of cornstarch if you want to thicken it up a little more, and naturally a good bit of butter. For a pound of mac, you're looking at about a whole stick of butter at least. And how much cheese is? Let's see, I've got some notes down here. 8 ounces of American, 1 pound of Sharp, or combinations of other good cheeses. And what are good melting cheeses? That would be like the Jack Fontina, Young Swiss, Gruyere, there it is, Munster, Young Provolone, or Young Gouda. How is a Young Gouda better than a whole Gouda? I don't know. Oh well. Yep. So now to reheat mac and cheese, let's say if you made it, put it in the fridge overnight, the pasta starts absorbing the water, the moisture out of it. out of the cheese sauce. So you want to add some milk back to it and stir it around before you reheat it. Then again, use evap milk because it's just trust me, boy. I'm just saying, and reheat it until it's warm through. Okay, let's move on. Step 2. 2-step, 4-step, 5 steps, 6 steps. Ham base. Nestle's Professional Food Service makes a product called Miner's ham base. Here's a photo. And then they have Better Than Bouillon ham base seasoning. And these are both great in beans, peas, legumes, or on other vegetables that you're going to cook down for a while, like mustard greens, collard greens, whatever. You know, something like that stewed cabbage, for instance, where the Miner's ham base is more smoked flavored, like smoked ham, whereas the Better Than Bouillon tastes more like honey ham. They both have ham flavors, but you want a smoke flavor or you want the honey flavor? They both cost about the same per yield of the product, but the Miner's, you'll have to get it offline. You can find Better Than Bouillon in most stores. And, you know, I had some Better Than Bouillon and I threw it away because honey ham is okay sometimes, but I'd rather smoked ham any day. All right, let's move on to Mornay cheese sauces and hollandaise sauces and things for steamed vegetables or broccoli au gratin or potatoes au gratin, cauliflower, casseroles, things like that. Um, you know, you can tighten them up by adding some herbs, maybe some mustard or ground mustard, you know, a spicy brown type mustard, garlic, shallots. You can even add things like lemon, which I like a lemon cheese sauce on steamed broccoli, for instance, and asparagus. Uh, but you can also add things like orange or pineapple, and but don't add all of them at the same time. You got to pick and choose. Maybe you could add a little bit of mustard and some oregano with a tad of garlic to a cheese or Mornay sauce or a hollandaise sauce. But you really got to watch because if you overpower the sauce, the I want to taste some broccoli too, or some asparagus too, so you can really overpower it. Don't forget to add a little salt and pepper. Uh, as far as mustard, use powdered mustard. It's you can even add a pinch of nutmeg to Mornay sauce, which is recommended in my book. Let's see. Corned beef, baked, boiled, or how you want to haircut it. Y'all asked me for a pastrami video. Well, we're just going to go with this. Buy you a corned beef already pre-made, whether it's a flat or the point. Boil it according to the package directions and use the little seed satchel that comes inside of it. You know, cut it open and dump it in the pot. Don't do like somebody else I know. Didn't even open the satchel, put it in the pot. And it's sealed into plastic. I'm sitting there looking at it boiling. This ain't going to flavor nothing. I took it out and cut it open. I'm not going to mention no names. But, yeah, you got to get the seeds, and it's mustard seeds and cloves and bay leaves, peppercorns, just all kind of stuff in there. A little coriander seed. Anyway, yeah, add that to it. Boil it for, usually it'll say about 3 hours. So boil it for 2. Take it out of the pot and then put it in the oven at about 350 degrees on like a cake cooling rack, so the grease can drip down off of it. Fat side up, and it's going to be very, very flavorful. If you just try to bake it straight up out the package, it's going to be way too salty. That's the point of boiling it first and then pulling it out and baking it. And it's going to have a change of color. Rather than being pale pink like if it was boiled the whole time, the whole 3 hours, it's going to go from a nice, it's going to go to a nice red color. Kind of like what Cat's Deli does. And a lot of delis will serve corned beef that has been boiled and then baked and then sliced. Plus you get a nice bark on the outside of it. I love that. That's the best part. I love corned beef with a horseradish sauce. I love roast beef with a horseradish sauce. Like a cream horseradish sauce, where you make it yourself. You can add stuff like a little mayo, maybe a little lemon, some fresh ground horseradish. I think Lighthouse brand. Is it Lighthouse? I'll put a picture of the one that I've got. I think it's made by Lighthouse. They've got one that's really, really hot and spicy, and I like that. Open your sinuses up all the way through. Atomic is another brand that's really good. Okay, moving on here. We are recording. Good. It's a good thing. Add some malted or instant milk powder when you're making pizza dough or to bread dough. Don't ever use regular milk, liquid milk. Use a little bit of these powders in there, maybe about 1/4 cup to, say, 4 cups of flour. And it's going to change the gluten structure of the bread as it's forming and resting and when you're kneading it and things like that. And it's going to add another flavor dimension to it. Trust me, I've done my homework on this. What is Nunja? Nunja. It's a spreadable salami. What? It's imported. It is delicious on pizza. I've even went and just bought a pre-made pizza dough, or crust, at the store, and I had some of this Nunja, however you say it, and it comes in like a tube, like cheese comes in a tube that's all sealed up, that jalapeno cheese, you know what I'm talking about, and you cut it open and you slice little coins out of it, chunk it on the pizza, thick slices, because it melts down and gets thin. Oh, it is fantastic. It's imported. It's from Italy, I believe. One of them countries over there on the Mediterranean Sea. Ooh, when you go that way. Blow your horn too. Ooh. Foghorn, leghorn. All right. What else we got here? Meatloaf and meatballs. Some tips. Uh-oh, my computer went to sleep. Are you still recording? Yes. Look like you is. Good. The monitor went to sleep. That's what it was. Oh. Do you add egg, evap milk, or tomato sauce when you're making a meatloaf or meatballs? You can add any one of the 3. I wouldn't add all 3. But I've tried it all different ways. I prefer the evaporated milk as opposed to egg, always. And I also like tomato sauce instead of the other two. It gives it a different, and it keeps it moist. Helps keep the meatballs, meatloaf moist. Um, so does adding bacon to it. You know, just diced raw bacon. Throw that in there. Or pork, ground pork. I like the smokiness that the bacon gives. The good hickory smoked bacon. Yep, yep. Another trip. Another trick. Add some cheese to it. Always stuff meatballs or meatloaf with hunks of cheese or toes of garlic. You know, toes, not the whole head. You put multiples in there for a flavor explosion, or whoever gets the garlic. It's like, I want all of it. I love garlic. I can boil garlic with my corned beef, the whole heads, and just squeeze the whole damn thing in my mouth. I love garlic. Good for you. Keep the vampires away. So what is a Texas crutch when it comes to barbecue? So, the Texas crutch. What is that? Well, when you're smoking foods that's got to go for a long time, the internal structure of the muscle, it's like a bunch of straws that are intertwined around one another. And when you start smoking them, they tighten up and get into a knot. And the only way to let them get out of that knot is to smoke it for a long period of time at a low temperature, and they gradually start relaxing. Okay, that takes quite a while. That's why you hear low and slow and, oh, it's going to be an 18-hour brisket or something to that effect. But you can speed that process up. Once the meat hits about 160 internally, the same applies for ribs, pork ribs. Pull it off the smoker, wrap it tightly in foil, and put it back on. And that helps it steam internally and helps the muscles relax faster. Beef ribs, really, they're cut from the ribeye section of the prime rib section of the cow. So you don't got to cook them to death. You can actually eat them medium rare or still moving inside if you want. Except there's going to be a lot of fat. And that's the only drawback to that. So you do need to kind of cook them to about medium. Get some of the fat or grease out of them. Just saying, okay? Where are we going now? The reverse sear. Who knows what that is? Raise your hand. I do. That means where you cook, like in sous vide style cooking, you bring something up to temperature slowly. Let's say a steak, a nice 2-inch thick steak, which are hard to cook. You bring it up slowly until it's about 110 internally. Then you take it out of the oven, the smoker, the cooker, preferably a smoker, and then slap it on a screaming hot grill on both sides. Sear it down real good. Let it rest. So you cooking it up to the internal temperature you want, and it's going to be less gray, tough meat on the surfaces than is if you just slapped it on the grill from the get-go. You liable to end up with thick hunks of gray meat that's tough and chewy with just a little bit of red, medium, rare in the center. That's what the reverse sear is about. Google it. You're here. You obviously know how to find this channel. You must know how to find Google. If you don't, just stay stupid, okay? Damn. Okay, 7 myths about cooking steaks, roast, anything that just need to go away. Now, I'm going to include a link to this in the description below this video to where you go read about it, because it's way too involved for me to try to explain it to you here. But I'm just going to hit the highlights. All right. Myth number 1. Should you let a thick steak rest at room temperature before you cook it? Yes or no? Okay. Page 2. Myth number 2. Sear your meat over high heat to lock in the juices. Reverse sear? Okay. Myth number 3. Bone-in steak has more flavor than boneless. Do it. Is you is or is you ain't, my baby. All right. Myth number 4. Only flip your steak once. I don't know about that bullshit. We're not going to go into it. Myth number 5. Don't season your steak until after it's cooked. Oh, fuck. Idiot. No. Fail. God, non-union is hell. Myth number 6. Don't use a fork to turn your steak. Huh. Wow. You need to go, if you disagree with any of these, you need to go find that link and read all about it. Because it's a big old section that explains it like a rocket scientist and a nuclear submarine engineer would. Trust me, they've done experiments in a controlled kitchen lab about these. Okay, where we at? This 6B. If you cut into the steak to check its doneness, you will lose all of its juices. Use myth 7. Use the poke. Poke me in the eye, guy test to check your steak if it's done. The poke test works pretty well, but you gotta know your meat. The poke test is touch these 2 fingers and push right there. Okay, that's see right there. That's rare. But it depends on the cut of meat. Now, okay, that's not as rare. That's medium. These 2 fingers is well done. Okay? You got to know your meat. Different cuts are different. And when you did this and poked it, was you in the fat? Or was you in the muscle itself? Or was you on a piece of gristle? Whoa, that's what. Know the beef. You got to know what you're cooking. So I hope you enjoyed this little video, boys and girls. As much as I enjoyed it bringing it to you. That's about all I got. So, till next time, a boy, a girl, a bye.